Why, December 9, 1932, I said. And it didn't please him. He didn't like it a bit, but the wry grin that came over his face gave way to a chuckle. Over 1,000, he says reminiscently. Not as bad as 7 million, I shouldn't complain. 7 million what? Years, he said steadily enough, like he meant it. I tried an experiment once, or I will try it. Now I'll have to try it again. The experiment was in 3059. I'd just finished the release experiment. Testing space then. Time, it wasn't that. I still believe. It was space. I felt myself caught in that field, but I couldn't pull away. Field gamma H, 481. Intensity 935 in the Pellman range. It sucked me in and I went out. I think it took a shortcut through space to the position the solar system will occupy. Through a higher dimension, affecting a speed exceeding light and throwing me into the future plane. He wasn't telling me, He was just thinking out loud. Then he began to realize I was there. I couldn't read their instruments. 7 million years of evolution changed everything. So I overshot my mark a little coming back. I belong in 3059. But tell me, what's the latest scientific invention of this year? He startled me so, I answered almost before I thought. Why, television, I guess, and radio and airplanes. Radio. Good. They will have instruments. But see here, who are you? I'm sorry, I forgot. He replied in that organ voice of his. I am Aries Senkenlin. And you? James Waters Bendel. Waters. What does that mean? I do not recognize it. Why, it's a name, of course. Why should you recognize it? I see. You have not the classification, then. Sen stands for science. Where did you come from, Mr. Kenlin? Come from? He smiled, and his voice was slow and soft. I came out of space, across 7 million years or more. They had lost count. The men had. The machines had eliminated the unneeded service. They didn't know what year it was. But before that, my home is in the Navath city in the 3059. That's when I began to think he was a nut. I was an experimenter. Science, as I have said. My father was a scientist too, but in human genetics. I myself am an experiment. He proved his point, and all the world followed suit. I was the first of the new race. The new race? Oh, holy destiny! What is its end? I have seen it. Almost. I saw them, the little men, bewildered, lost. And the machines? Must it be? Can't anything sway it? Listen. I heard this song. He sang the song. Then he didn't have to tell me about the people. I knew them. I could hear their voices in the queer, crackling, un-English words. I could read their bewildered longings. It was in a minor key, I think. It called and asked and hunted hopelessly. And over it, all the steady rumble and whine of the unknown, forgotten machines. The machines that couldn't stop because they had been started, and the little men had forgotten how to stop them, or even what they were for, looking at them and listening and wondering. They couldn't read or write anymore, and the language had changed, you see, so that the phonic records of their ancestors meant nothing to them. But that song went on, and they wondered. And they looked out across the space, and they saw the warm, friendly stars, too far away. 9 planets they knew and inhabited, and locked by infinite distance, they couldn't see another race, a new life. And through it all, 2 things. The machines, bewildered, forgetfulness, and maybe one more. Why? That was the song, and it made me cold. It shouldn't be sung around people of today. It almost killed something. It seemed to kill hope. After that song, I believed him. When he finished the song, he didn't talk for a while. Then he sort of shook himself.